Is Quando Rondo responsible for King Von's passing? Another hard loss in early November when word got out that King Von passed away. But then details emerged that rapper Quando Rondo was partly responsible for his death via group-on-group violence. People have been wondering what really happened and what Quando Rondo would go and say about it. Quando is hiding something big in involvement we released in this video. Allow us to break it all down for you. But first, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 6. How King Von died. To understand how Quando Rondo fits into all of this, we have to go and look at what happened to King Von. TMZ cited sources as saying 3 people, including King Von, were killed in a shooting. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the incident occurred outside a nightclub in downtown Atlanta early one Friday morning. Reporters Chelsea Prince and John Spink noted that several others were injured. TMZ put the number of people shot at 6. One person was said to have been struck by a vehicle when the crowd outside of the Monaco Hookah Lounge started to scatter, AJC reports. The report also noted that local authorities had been called to the club twice over a 24-hour period to investigate shootings, though there is zero evidence the 2 incidents are related. During the early Friday morning shooting, 2 off-duty cops who were working security are said to have tried to intervene, ultimately exchanging gunfire with as yet unidentified individuals. That physical altercation escalated into an exchange of gunfire with those groups, Atlanta Police Deputy Chief Timothy Peake said. 2 police officers who were working at the particular club or lounge noticed the altercation and engaged some of the people involved. There was an exchange of gunfire with police as well. Later on, surveillance video reportedly showed King Von and Quando Rondo in a hookah lounge's parking lot along with their respective crews. At one point during the video, a man identified as King Von approaches another man and begins punching before the scuffle moves out of the frame. It's believed based on evidence that it wasn't Quando Rondo himself who fired the shots that killed King Von, but rather a member of his group that was part of the scuffle, which technically makes him an accessory, but he's unlikely to be charged for that. However, he is going to get flack and has gotten flack for what he said about King Von a few weeks after he was revealed to be part of the attack that killed him. The diss track. Diss tracks are without a doubt a key part of rap culture. They've helped build and end feuds between various rappers and groups, and in some cases have even made careers. But there is a line that is meant to be drawn, and it usually comes with the tag of don't diss another rapper's death, because all that brings is pain and more anger. But Quando Rondo didn't care about that, because a few weeks after the death of King Von, he decided to go and make a diss track about the death. Blood on your brother on the ground, go and pick your mans up. Damn right, we scream in self-defense, he shouldn't ever put his hands on me. Look at the footage, that's all the evidence. Shouldn't have ran up on me. Who the F said that I was hiding? I'm still riding around with them bands on me. And to set the record straight, I never had no show inside the A. Well, that just about says it all, doesn't it? He's so unrepentant about the death of King Von that he's painting himself and his crew as heroes of a sort, and that they were doing self-defense and so on and so forth. Except how is it self-defense when King Von is coming after you with fists and not a weapon? Exactly. Not to mention calling King Von and his various crewmates names when it was Rondo's crew who was getting taken to the woodshed before the shots started firing. It is callous at best. Oh, and if you think that the rap world and its fans were going to let that stand, oh no they didn't. Fan backlash. While rap fans are fine with rap beefs of a certain nature, there are lines you don't cross. And when the community heard what Quando Rondo did, they let loose a flurry of tweets and posts to show their support of King Von and their dismissal of Quando. Scream self-defense, he should have never put his hands on me. What, you can't fight or something? And the only thing that saved him from getting beat down even more was his man's killing Von. Why drop a diss track, lol. Quando Rondo in the studio, yeah, he deserved to get killed, he shouldn't have put his hands on me. As you can see, they think he's a punk, and for good reason. Who does a diss track about a person they killed and then try and paint themselves as heroic or the victim? That's just terrible, and that wasn't even the worst thing that he did, believe it or not. The lie. Not long after his diss track went out, Quando Rondo went and made a statement saying that his concert in Georgia had been canceled by police and the mayor. Rondo took to Instagram Live the day of the show and appeared to be leaving the venue after he got a call that the show had been canceled. He's also seen wearing what appears to be a bulletproof vest, saying, "I've been walking out." Vest on all type of crazy. According to him, there had been word that Lil Durk and other Chicago groups were aiming to come to the show and try and get payback for what happened to King Von. More on that later. So in theory, this would be a fair reason to cancel the show. You know, if it was a real threat. However, commenters on the post noticed that alleged security footage was dated January 1st, 2018, questioning how Rondo's show could be canceled at the club if the video was taken from an event over 2 years ago. He swiftly scrubbed his account, leaving a post of his "Have you ever" single up in his Instagram stories. Neither the mayor nor police in Macon has publicly commented about the reason behind Rondo's show cancellation, as well painting a very weird picture of what was actually going on. Retaliation. The other big thing to note about the death of King Von is that he had friends in high places. By that we mean gang support, and if the threat of Lil Durk and his crew coming after Quando was real, then we wouldn't be surprised. These groups are known for being really tight and striking out against those who have hurt their crew. Whether he wants to play the victim or not, Quando Rondo had a hand in taking out King Von. That's just a fact. And retaliation has already been handed out via one of his crew being put in critical condition. The real question here is whether there will be a retaliation against himself. That might be another reason why he did what he did with his social media accounts, because that way one of his enemies can't track his movements online and try and find him. No matter what, he's definitely going to be looking over his shoulder for a while. Crossing the line. The idea of crossing crossing the line is something that has gone a long time in rap, from diss tracks to personal attacks to fights and beyond. Quando Rondo is learning the hard way that when it comes to these things, you can't go and cross a line that you can't go back on. That diss track will live on and serve as a fire to those who want to get payback for King Von. What will they do exactly? It's hard to say, but no doubt he's going to try and deflect blame so that people can't attack him and stay away from the groups that want to hurt him. But how successful he'll be is one guess we can't make, because when it comes to payback, it usually comes out of nowhere. And there you go, a look at the death of King Von, the response to it by Quando Rondo, and how many people reacted to it. What do you personally think of this diss track by Quando Rondo and how he's trying to justify what happened to King Von? Do you think it's tactless? Do you think it's pathetic? What do you think is going to happen to Quando Rondo after what he's said and done? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe. I'm King Trending, and I'll see you next time on the channel.